I am back again, Wonders. Today we are going to be talking about pistons. So in our last video, we basically talked all about pulse circuits. That basically track redstone. Redstone pulse circuits basically mean they track redstone. Just like right here, for example. This right here represents an oscilloscope. If you basically detect an oscilloscope by split its lever, all will go down. But if you turn it back on, then watch this. That is because an oscilloscope basically detects only objects that goes into a better region state. But if you put redstone here, watch this. Those will disappear, and then once you flick this off, that turns on. If you turn it back on, that will disappear. So that is known as an oscilloscope. Today we're working about pistons, though. So pistons are basically known for the acclimage, known as right here. Pistons are basically highly spectated due to the fact that their spectrum is basically at a low percentage, whether if it's regular piston or sticky piston. But by pressing a button, these are activate these pistons up. These are sticky pistons though; these stay up. By taking a spyglass, you can look closely at the nearest redstone line. Some redstones are connected to the pistons, some are not. For example, let me take something for example. If I put redstone on all these blocks and press the button, watch what will happen. All those redstones will come off. So basically, it's not detected because basically this basically has a little flashback to it. Because if you look closely, watch again. I put something heavy on the button, or something like that, but watch what will happen. You can't see it. It fully optimates what's basically detected. That's because by using an observer with a piston connected to it and putting something behind the object, it will detect the red mark, like that. Those are known as pulse extenders, which basically when you basically extend or pulse. For example, watch what will happen if I place an object behind here. It basically detects the piston. Now watch again. As it pushes back, you can see that the piston here basically has contraptions. By putting a redstone repeater on top here and setting it to maximum ticks, and placing a stone brick next to it with redstone, this is what a reaction will get. The redstone repeater doesn't make anything. That's because we haven't placed any redstone yet. By placing an observer with redstone on it, you can detect this object known as basically using the Bernoulli equation. The Bernoulli equation detects only an object that's basically similar to the one that's close. By this right here, by placing a redstone torch, you can only go further. But if you delete that, it stays in place. But you have to delete the redstone torch to put it back in position. That's most of what sticky pistons are about. Now we're going to move on to the Jeb Door. So here is our classic Jeb Door here. The Jeb Door here is basically modified by using NOT gate techniques. So Jeb Doors are basically known as basically a sticky piston compact door that basically condenses more. It's also known as a flush door. So a flushing door is basically the same thing as well. More occasionally we can use flush doors for like underground like vaults. The NOT gate is connected right here till right here. Now basically I took two pressure plates, one here and one there. We also create a redstone NOT gate as well. By stepping on these two pressure plates, watch what happens. These two open up, and then by do this again, you will have your classic. This is your classic Jeb Door. Now we move on to the modern the modern version of the classic Jeb Door. This is done by using this. So what we did was that we actually used a modification called using the hopper dropper technique. We mostly use a clock circuit to connect redstone over here to make sure that the redstone cut lines are not dust cutted. So, for example, if you place an object in the dropper, it goes through the hopper. It will close by itself. So the comparator will turn on lights. That's because of the object is actually in here somewhere. But if you press the button, it opens it back up. But if you press the button, it doesn't do nothing, and you must change. And you have to change your command. That's because you have to change the element, and the comparator will no longer light up. That's because of the item. The item is nowhere to be found, but the item is actually inside of the dropper. So by getting rid of everything you have in your inventory and starting over again, you can actually define that this is known as a compact modern version of the modern Jeb Door. The Jeb Door only consists of you putting objects in one by one, which the hopper state recognizes your de facto generation. So by taking out everything from the hopper and putting it back in again, you can refine that the doors they open to will connect to a power source. See, as the door closes again, by pressing the button, it opens it back up. When you take something out of it, it basically closes it back up. So that is the modern Jeb Door. Now we're going to move on to the piston extenders. Piston extenders are mostly known for extending all the way up to a high frequency. So if you want to place as much pistons as you want to, but when you get there, put a block there. Total height for blocks is like, I think, 260 blocks up high. No, 263 blocks. So by having a repeater that's been set to 2 ticks and a comparator facing that way, by having a lever, watch this. This will extend your pistons, but the 2 won't. But if you go ahead and press down, the pistons here will stay down. So a pulse extender, or a piston extender can basically come in handy sometimes. That comparator should light up. The hopper here basically has an item. It detects the comparator where there's an item inside of here. It basically detects the pistons to go up. Keep that in mind. Our next here, well, basically here's an example. So you can see there's nothing here, right? There's nothing here, right? But if you stand on these 2 pressure plates, there's something. Hidden stairs. So this is done by using the NOT gate again. So we use a NOT gate to create our hidden stairs that basically represents you that you're going under these stairs. Well, generally do not try this because basically it'll lead you to the end of the world. So basically these are the stairs, what they look like. Now the stairs basically compact on you when you basically have a redstone escapade. So with 2 more escapades, you can actually create a redstone upwards vision. Now moving over here, we have the hidden redstone staircase again. So this one is also a little crappy as well. So for example, right here we created an OR gate, which right here. This right here we created an OR gate, which basically defines the redstone laws that basically creates that. A burnout redstone torch will actually come here and push the piston up to push up this door. But I want to show you this first. So for this right here, basically if you flip this switch right here, it basically keeps the stairs hidden. But now watch the redstone tick scan, and you remember, and keep in mind, if you're building a redstone hidden stairs, you have to be sure that you set the repeaters to the tick that's needed. Like for this one calls for 1 tick. This right here calls for 2 ticks. This one calls for 3 ticks, and this one here calls for 4 ticks. Now, for right here, this also calls for 4 ticks as well. Same as that as well. Because it depends on what stuff you're building that connects to redstone field of power. So anyways, like I said before, if you press this right here, watch what will happen. It will push up that stair right there. And then you have yourself your stairs. Notice these stairs can be like this sometimes, but that's okay. Now moving on, we have this one here is known as the combination redstone stairs. Now, before we explain the mechanism and the gimmicks for this one, let me explain what we did here. We basically took more and more actions by using some of the redstone field manuals and some of the binomial factors. We took one frequency that we took most of them that basically serve 1 tick for themselves, and then basically the pressure plates are basically what we use for. So how does this work? Imagine you're trying to figure out how you're trying to get these stairs out. This is almost like a puzzle, like trying to solve a Rubik's cube. You step on one pressure plate, one lights out, burns the torch out, the other one does. Well, here's the trick. Find an object that's heavy, like an anvil or bedrock. So let me example you. So we'll take an anvil for example. Place it on one of the repeaters, one of the pressure plates, and then watch this. As soon as you step on this pressure plate, out comes your stairs. Those right there are your combination stairs. They push out, and then there you go. Now next we have this escalators. Now this one was a really complicated build, but this one is really easy. Look carefully after you define the laws. We basically use the repeater tick line. Hang on a sec, guys. Just my door for. Okay, I'm gonna close my door a little bit.
What?
Close my door. And just closing my door, go.
For what?
Because I farted.
No, what do you...
No, hang on a second. Alright guys, sorry about that, I'm back. So anyways, as I was saying before, so if you look closely, this is a redstone escalator. It depends on how many tick delays we put into ourselves. From this being 1 to this being 4 to this being 4 to this being 2 ticks. It depends on the multiple stuff we did. Like for example, like if it's more multiple for over here, we did this one's 2, this one's 3, this one's 4, and so on and so on. So if we stand right here, and if you press this button, watch this happens. Not the good quality, but I'll try this again. If not, then I'll show you particularity. Alright, here's how this works. So if you're like trying to put like a mob here, and you press this button, it extends these up. Oh, and before we move on to the next one, I also want to talk more about the pulse extenders. So if you go back to the pulse the extenders, you can actually make any extender you want. You can make a tileable upward 1 wide double extender, tileable ceiling double extender, 1 wide double extender downwards, the 1 wide horizontal double piston extender. These have an impact on creating more and more efficiency than creating more spherical harmonics. Next, we move on to the piston doors. This is my favorite one. I actually named after myself. This is known as. So my last name is Hartley. This is known as my YouTube name. This is the Fall Nick Fan's piston clock door. It's not really a clock door. It's just a modified Jeb Door that's actually named by myself. This is known as the Hartley or the Nick's. I'll just call it the Nick's piston lock door. So this is a 3 times 2 lock door, the compact 2 times 3 piston door. And how this works is once we did. So what we did was that we just took redstone. We just put redstone, like a redstone square circuitry on here, and we circuit up into an Arduino. So if you go ahead and stand right here, watch what will happen. And oh my god, it's like I'm in solitary confinement. But if you step back out, there it is. Another one we call, but this is the next is the 2x2 piston door, the smaller version of a Jeb Door, and you just walk through it, and it closes like that. Now here's another one that's like really weird. This is a 3x3 piston door, and this one's a little weird. I followed the video, but it feels like I was like using it like a different texture mod. So we added this one here. We mostly use observers and note blocks to control the altitude of and the amplitude of the piston door. And you press this lever right here, only brings that block up. Not a big fan of this one, but here we also made the 4x4 piston door as well. We just made this right here. Now this one's another one. So this one's really a complicated build, because if you look closely, this took like hard work and pride. So basically, if you flip this lever up here, watch what happens. The pistons go crazy. The main part is the pistons are basically offsetted because we didn't act, because our buying placed some of the observers wrong on here, or is that because I'm on a different console. But next we have the simplest 1x2 door. This one here is another one I don't like. Imagine it's like a mirror, but if you step right here, it's almost like a circus door for clowns. But here's this one right here, the spiral iris door. This one here is also my favorite one. Because why? Well, if you press this one, watch what happens. You see, 1 second, watch it again. That's like really cool. This one, I'd give this a 10 out of 10. Next we have this one, the scalable door. This one took a lot of hard work. Now, this build could actually get you banned from any Minecraft server. So do not build this, but if you're lucky enough. So this is the scalable door. It's up to 15 blocks high. We mostly use concrete powder for the door here. Now mostly for the redstone ticks, these one here consists of using redstone influence of actional parts. Like these observers have to be set on different ones. Like most of the repeaters have to be set on different ticks. And then yes, so here's how it goes. So basically, you have your lever right here, right? You press this up, watch what happens. It pushes these up like that. This is what it looks like. But if you flip the lever down, watch this again. Watch what happens to the blocks. The blocks usually go away. And yes.
Who are you talking to?
Myself.
Why?
Because I just feel like it's... It's like even you queefing.
What?
Nothing.
What did you say?
Nothing. I'm just talking to myself. Alright. Our next door. Our next door is basically this next. This here is a self-resetting sand door. It's not a resetting door, but watch this. If you keep pressing this little white concrete powder will go away. Next we have the piston door. This is the piston door here. It's the modern version of it, but another one I don't like. But then we have the lava door. Now, basically, just lava. Now, if you don't know what this means, you put lava in the little square right here, and the lava comes down on you. The flush seamless piston door. This one's another one I like. It just doesn't do nothing correctly. Just pushes up a little bit, but I recommend not to build this build. Improved hidden piston door. And also, like this, for example, we use NOR gates. And but actually that doesn't do anything. And then we also have the castle gates. This is not literally a castle gate, this looks like a condo. And for piston builds, you can actually build structures like the piston drawbridge for here, for example. if you basically build this up right here, it puts these blocks up. Kind of like this, but you can also build a piston table, a scroll on display, a garbage disposal. You can also build a dry docks, available enchantment room, self-repairing structures like moving vehicles, and also for traps, disappearing floor trap, hidden bridges, suffocation trap, floodgate, and for storage you can build a hidden chest room. For farming and also for redstone circuits, you also can use light switches, and you can use this for mining, and you can use it for minecart direction, shifters, locking chests, freezing, self-refilling system for a flasher door, modular buttons, speak lock, pistons, and for upgrading systems. And that's mostly much it. But before we go, I want to improve something with here. So for this, if you guys want to build, you can. You don't have to. So just go ahead and come all the way down here and grab yourself the items. Grab yourself some pistons, sticky piston, redstone dust, redstone torch, levers. I want to make a self piston repeating arrow launcher. Repeater. Operator. Targets. Also want to make maybe a dispenser. We also need more. We need droppers, observers, and hoppers. But I want to make an arrow. I want to make like an actual arrow launcher that can repeat back. So first step is to build our target. So the first thing I want to do is we're gonna need some type of block. We'll just use some gold. What we need this for a while. We'll just use the gold block of iron, and diamonds. So, oops. So grab your. We'll also need diamonds as well. So, the first step is just build your gold block like this, and then build a piston, and then build your piston like that. Or no, wait. Build both pistons on each side. This right here will be indicating our dispenser. Then place a regular piston on here. Then extend another block.